Hello, welcome to TNT. In fact, good morning, just after dawn, overlooking Kamala here on the island of Phuket. I've been attending the dawn service for ANZAC Day 2024. A bit more about that later on in the program, but thanks for joining us. Please subscribe to the channel and we'll get started. And we'll get back to the Anzac Day service at the end of the program, but to all the Australians, the New Zealanders and members of other Commonwealth countries who commemorate Anzac Day, it's a day that we say, lest we forget. April the 25th each year. Right, going to the Bangkok Post. And a reminder that no let-up, more hot days ahead. And the weatherman, could be the weatherwoman as well, I suppose, warned that temperatures could soar to new highs between Friday and Tuesday, with the wet season not due to start until the third week of May. Certainly no rain in the forecast as far as I can see for this area here. Hot and sunny day again. And the heat wave will continue throughout Wednesday and Thursday, and then from Friday through to Tuesday next week, westerly and northwesterly winds would reach the north, northeast, central plains and the east, with high temperatures that could break records set in 2016 and 2023. This year's high to date, 44.2 degrees Celsius in the northern province of Lampang. That was on Monday this week. Apparently 30 people had died of heat stroke in Thailand this year. Well, let's check the latest news from the western part of Thailand, the border with Myanmar, Myawaddy on one side and of course Mae Sot on the other. Myanmar junta says troops back in Myawaddy, and the Myanmar junta troops have moved back into a vital border town that they were ousted from by an alliance of ethnic rebels and anti-junta fighters this month. The Karen National Union and the People's Defence Forces ousted around 200 military soldiers from their positions in the lucrative trade hub of Myawaddy. That happened around April the 10th. And the troops withdrew to a bridge that connects Myawaddy to Thailand's Mae Sot following the clashes which sent thousands fleeing Myanmar. And apparently the military still did not have complete control of Myawaddy and did not say if there'd been fighting in the town on Tuesday. But somebody who requested anonymity told AFP the troops had retaken the 275 base on Tuesday. And the military's carried out airstrikes around Myawaddy in recent days, according to residents, and had sent reinforcements towards the town. And reminding us that the putsch, the coup, back in 2021 sparked renewed conflict with ethnic rebel groups and birthed dozens of new People's Defence Forces that analysts say have surprised the military with their effectiveness. And the fighting so far has displaced more than 2.5 million people, according to the UN. Many of them fleeing over to places like Bangladesh and, of course, Thailand. Going to our next story, also Thai PBS World, and suspended Deputy Police Commissioner withdraws charges against the Prime Minister. And the embattled Deputy Commissioner, maybe that should be former Deputy Commissioner, Police General Surachat Hakpan, who withdrew his charge of malfeasance in office against the Premier, demanded yesterday a probe into the actions of 200 police officers involved in the investigation of money laundering charges against him. And in an about turn, Surachat told the NACC that he wants the charges, which he filed against the Prime Minister on Monday, to be withdrawn because the Prime Minister has nothing to do with the police investigation. And in his position to the NACC, he demanded that the anti-graft watchdog investigate Police General Kana Chuwong, the current Deputy Commissioner General, and about 200 police investigators whom he accuses of abuse of authority in violation of the Criminal Code 157. And it's reported that Surachat's nameplate has been removed from his office at the Royal Thai Police, and his name's been deleted from the list of Deputy Commissioners General on the police website homepage. Deleted from the website, that doesn't look good. So the embattled Surachat Hakpan, formerly the postcard boy for the Royal Thai Police, looks like he's got a bit of a battle ahead. His opportunity of becoming the police commissioner here in Thailand looks very distant indeed. And we'll check out some of the footage from the Kamala ANZAC Day dawn service a bit later on in the program. Also, big thanks to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine, at 5starmarinephuket.com. If you go to the website, you can check out a whole lot of testimonials from very happy customers, and also check out some of the places that you can visit with 5 Star Marine. Now, those fires up in northern Thailand and the smoke that follows still continuing, this one particularly serious, and reported by the patianews.com, violent wildfire engulfs over 400 rai near the Golden Triangle in Chiang Rai. Authorities mobilised to combat the blaze, and Chiang Rai local media has reported a violent wildfire destroying more than 400 rai near the Golden Triangle in Chiang Rai. More than 25 trucks headed out to control and prevent the fire from spreading, and the wildfire was initiated on the morning of April 22. The firefighters were able to extinguish and control the fire from spreading further, but it did continue and it spread further to more than 400 rai. And at 10 p.m. on April the 23rd, the relevant agencies were able to successfully control the wildfires. Officers were reportedly dispatched on standby to prevent the wildfires from igniting again. And just remembering that a lot of these wildfires do start as plantation fires by farmers and then will get out of control. Let's head over to, once again, thepatianews.com. Chiang Mai massage owner arrested for allegedly providing underage prostitution. And Chiang Mai police on Tuesday and relevant agencies launched an inspection at a massage shop in the main city area of Chiang Mai after finding out that the shop allegedly had minors under the age of 18 providing sexual services to customers. And the shop had many minors, the story says, who were reportedly under the age of 18. Upon further police investigation, it was found that the shop had a financial list that reportedly paid bribes to many government officials with a total of 20,000 baht monthly. And the police rescued 6 underage victims before escorting them for interrogation, and then they'd provide further aid to them accordingly. And the police officers publicly revealed that the investigative team had monitored the massage shop for a while as it relocated frequently to avoid police arrest. Until then, the police officers investigated the case and found clues that led to the successful operation and rescued the underage victims. Now, this issue of underage prostitution keeps popping up in the news, and I know we'll get the usual list of apologists who say, no, it's not really a problem. Heading to this little snippet from Nikkei Asia, this is from their Facebook page. An interesting graph here. Singapore's grown rapidly under 3 prime ministers, but changes to its corporate tax break rules could potentially dent its appeal as an investment base for large companies in the region. But let's have a closer look. And it goes through the 5 countries, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Malaysia, Thailand, from 1980 up to 2022. And it shows the GDP per capita in dollars, that'd be US dollars, I suppose, and shows the staggering growth of Singapore, especially under the recent Prime Minister. And right down the bottom in orange there, Thailand, sort of languishing, slowly pushing up over the last 40 years with its GDP. And then in red, probably more worrying, we've got that drop in the Japanese GDP over the past 10 or 12 years. So I thought some of you might find that graph interesting. Now let's go to the situation of investment in Thailand. This is covered by cowsidenglish.com. Foreign investment in Thailand reaches 35 billion baht in the first quarter of 2024. Japan leads. And the Department of Enterprise Development of the Ministry of Commerce has announced data of the issuance of permits to foreigners to invest and do business in Thailand under the Foreign Business Act. And this is for the first quarter this year. A total of 178 companies with a total investment value of nearly 36 billion baht resulted in the employment of 849 Thais. The top 5 nationalities of foreign investors were Japan, And then we've got Singapore, the United States, China and Hong Kong. I suppose if you combine China and Hong Kong, you get some 31 entities. And the main industries invested were engineering services, design of automotive components, electronics manufacturing services and software development services. So the foreign investment keeps pouring into Thailand. It looks like the Japanese still leading the way. It used to be up until about 3 years ago that Japanese were the highest number of expats living in Thailand. I think that's recently been taken over by Chinese. To our next story, and maybe you were on one of these planes that had to wait. We go to Phuket. And this story that aircraft stuck on runway causes Phuket flight delays. And inbound and outbound flights at Phuket International Airport were delayed. That would have been on Tuesday, as a malfunctioning aircraft was unable to move off the runway. And the aircraft in question was unable to move off the runway due to a failure of its hydraulic steering system, necessitating the use of a pushback tractor to clear the way. And the malfunction resulted in the spillage of hydraulic oil onto the runway, posing a safety hazard for incoming and outgoing craft. The normal runway operations resumed about an hour later, and a total of 15 flights were affected by the situation, confirmed the notice. And it looks there, I'm not sure which airline it was, but it looks like an Airbus A330 was the plane affected. And you certainly wouldn't want to land on an oil slick, and looking at the direction they were landing there, they could have scooted straight off the end into the Andaman Sea. Now let's go to Krabi now, or Krabi, and find out the oldest person in Thailand. How old do you think they are? Let's go to ASEANnow.com. Oldest person found at 114 years old living in Krabi. And officials from Krabi conducted health checkups for two elderly people over 100 years old. 104 and 103-year-old both require close care due to their age. But the department chairman of the Krabi Education Council stated they annually visit elderly people over 100 years old, stating that in 2022 they provided essential items and 5,000 baht each. And in that year they found 60 elderly people over 100, but more than 10 had passed away. In 2024 they found 53. And Mrs. Pang Chang Kung, aged 114, was still able to walk. And good on her. And I don't know what her actual birthday is, but we'll give her an early 115th birthday wishes. Fancy that, 114 years. What stories she would have to tell. Congratulations to Mrs. Pang Chang Kun. And finishing today's program with Anzac Day 2024, especially for those Australians and New Zealanders out there and people from other Commonwealth countries that commemorate this special day. And today I attended the dawn service down at Kamala Beach. I arrived about 5:15, probably a good 100 people there at that stage, and by the time the service started on the Kamala Beach, just at the front of the police station, there would have been, I think, about 150 people, a good turn up, and it was great to see those people coming up and saying hello, and people who listen to the TNT program or watch the TNT program each day. And I should thank Wayne Scanlon and the Phuket veterans who hosted this particular service. Wayne very kindly asked me down to the service, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And it was good to see Kirsten Fletcher there as well, the newly appointed, although she's been there for about 6 months, Consul General in Phuket. And she was joined by the New Zealand Consul, and they both presented wreaths at the service this morning. And the dawn service gives Australians and New Zealanders the opportunity to reflect on those that had served before, starting in Gallipoli specifically back in 1915, but really reflecting on all the other Australian and New Zealand soldiers that have served to protect the freedoms in our nations since that date. And the dawn services all end with this particular ode: "They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget." So thank you, Wayne, and thank you for the offer of hospitality. I wasn't able to stick around because I had to get back to do the program, but enjoyed the service, and thank you for all those people that attended. And thank you for watching today. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to keep up on the news in Thailand. Thanks to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.